down that really did change the pace of that last round. But Apex now last alive. Should be easy to be dealt with here by Heroic. And just like that, 2-1 now as we head into the third round.
Yeah, very clean round at that. That's always going to be valuable. And you have to bear in mind that was a force buy from Vitality. That wasn't a save. So they invested everything they had into that one. And Heroic barely even break a sweat. So strong start on their CT side. Pretty much as important as CT side it can get to starting strong. Just building up that cash, making sure you have the utility to quell any early aggression that comes out on towards the A site. Maybe some counter nades to be thrown outside as well. And this round, a singular flashbang to try and get something from Vitality in this one.
Let's see then. Grouped up towards ramp. No Kevlar here for any of the players. Just Glocks across the board here for Vitality as a tag with the Scout. Not the best weapon here when you've got players just following their way through without armor towards you. NATO Safix though able to find just one, but it is down there towards that B-bomb site, able to seal the deal. So 3 players surviving for Heroic as it does go 3-1 as we head into the 5th round. And now this is where things get interesting for Vitality. They don't have the money for an AWP unless MBK goes for drops it to ZywOo with no armor, which is very unlikely to see. Should just be the 5 AK buy from Vitality, and now we start to see the strategies. Are they going to go for the heavy smoke play towards that side? Are they going to commit towards Secret? Are they going to go for the executions towards A? Faking outside smokes, grouping out elsewhere. All questions to be answered very, very shortly here, Tom.
Yeah. We also see a similar scenario to the last map where, because they won the second round, Heroic actually have a fair bit of cash still saved up into their bank, even though they've upgraded a fair few of the weapons after losing a couple in the last round. So they're in a pretty good situation when it comes to the early rounds on the CT side. And well, looking like it's just going to be a brute force issue for this T side, but it seems like a good read coming out from NATO underneath the vent, is able to catch 2 as they tried to drop down. friberg also with another double onto that MP9, and Alex now left all alone. 1 versus 4. Already spoke about how they've managed to keep money and upgrade. Now they get some free weaponry as well in the form of friberg, and NATO with a fantastic round. A triple kill from him. A good setup. It seemed like they knew that Vitality wanted to try and drop down into the vent.
So now awkward situation again for Vitality. $3,000 across the board. They shall just go for the quasi buy, I imagine. But yeah, the play down the vent not working out in their favor. Heroic looking strong here, Tom. Are you still leaning for the Vitality win here on Nuke, or after the performance they showed in the last map? Remember, 11 rounds, 1 in a row. Their current form, obviously not historic form, but their current form right now being so strong. Do you think they can still take this, even though it's for the CT side of Nuke?
What, do I think Vitality can still take this?
Sorry, Heroic.
Heroic, I definitely think they can. Like, again, David's coming through with more stats, and they're talking about how they haven't played it much in 2019, but both times they've won, and how this is a fantastic map statistically for Blame, where we're getting some like ridiculous ratings onto the board as well. So there's definitely potential for Heroic. Like, no doubt, I'm not going to count them out of the picture. Like, they're a team on the rise. They've been getting better and better as they go, and given a sort of bit of a lucky break to get into this event with other teams having problems with visas, they're sort of in a perfect scenario where they weren't expecting to be here, and they've been given an opportunity, so they don't really have much to lose. So yeah, of course Heroic can still take it, especially if they continue in the way they've been going. They're a team that, especially when you look at people like NATO and Blame, that they really do get pumped up off the back of, like, well, basically just incredible rounds, and that sort of comeback is going to have the blood racing for sure.
Any team. Yeah, the morale's going to be so high right now for Heroic.
And NATO getting off to a start of 10-2, like,
it's great to see.
We haven't seen many massively statistical games out from him since joining Heroic. It's not really been his role, so if he can have one now, there's not a better time.
So, what's the call going to be from Vitality? So far, seems more of the call coming out from Blame F, playing so aggressive here. Obviously known as the entry fragger for Heroic, but here on that CT side, getting ever so close towards the outside of the map. Alex, though, expecting something quite quirky. Must be up with that smoke towards the red container. So slow play coming out here from Vitality. But Alex should be clearing the craze. He spots the head, but actually no, Blame F with the first one. ZywOo should be able to try and stop the player Blame F from falling back, but does land the wallbang there through the blue crate. My goodness.
got to be scared if you're Blame, and well, he will eventually go down. This battle outside has left both teams wounded. Asetak just waiting patiently, a standoff between the two, and ZywOo, ever patient, is going to get the victory. And actually, Nato's going to go down as well. It's left on to Stavn and friberg to try and somehow turn this back. Both currently sat on the A site, so if a push comes in that direction, they have a chance anywhere else, and well, it's unlikely to go their way, but it is looking like an A hit is the decision from Vitality. Even with both players here, it should still be a round for them to take. The only real problem is the time getting low can mean that things get a little bit more rush. Maybe a position isn't checked properly, but friberg peeking out will give it away, and now Stavn has to pull off something incredible, and MBK will spot him out clean from Vitality as they get their second round on the board, the first since they won themselves the pistol.
Round 8, and as you said, first round they got since the pistol, ever since then Heroic with the upset on the Force Buy, winning 5 in a row. Vitality finally getting 1 on the board. But can they keep up? Well, can they string them together, essentially, is the bigger question here at hand. Because we spoke about the morale being high for Heroic. Conversely, juxtaposition, Vitality going to be so frustrated with that loss on the last map being 14-5 up. ZywOo there. He landed the tag and the entry there through the squeaky door out towards friberg in A main. But so far from Vitality, a much slower round here. No smokes thrown towards outside just yet. Instead, waiting for the aggression to come from that CT side, and then eventually, most likely going to go for that sort of set play as they are started to pin the smokes, line them up, and go for the outside execution. And it is going to be blameF playing the off angle there as well. So what he's holding for in towards Garage before it was smoked off was the off angle in towards A main. And now all he can really do is say to his teammates, they can go towards A main, they can go towards Under Heaven, and they can go down Secret. But Asetak with the great angle as he does pin down the first shot onto MBK.
Yeah, RPK low as well. It won't matter. It's the Orb doing the damage, and he faces off against ZywOo once again, but it's still just trying to buy time. He's already done enough, and he gets a third as well. ZywOo this time punished for his aggression, and Asetak stepping up big when needed. This is a chance to bounce straight back. Apex, however, has gained a lot of ground. It seems like Stavn is more than aware that this is possible, but he looks away at the wrong time. However, he turns back, gets given a chance, and Asetak with a quad kill. Stepping up big after a fairly quiet first map. Sits right near the top of the board, 8-4, and 6-2 lead now for Heroic.
Tactical timeout, the first one of that coming out from Vitality. Gosh, down there. At first looks so unlucky, and then actually somehow swivels his head around 180 and still lands that headshot towards Heaven. And that is the difference maker there for Heroic. 6-2 now as they do win back. Thankfully, though, Tom, we spoke about the difference between the new money and the old one.
Yeah.
Vitality can be very happy with the update to money where they can still buy now.
It's not as painful.
Yeah, otherwise it's going to be what, a 9-1, or sorry, excuse me, a 9-2 score, something ludicrous like that. But they are going to go for the buy here into round number 9. It just seems rather lackluster at the moment for them.
Yeah, they still get quite a decent purchase in this round at least. So it's like it's not the end of the world. Like, they'll have the AWP onto ZywOo. There's a lot of utility missing, though, which, even just for little things, let's say you don't have an HE for the door. Like, that means that maybe ZywOo's peak's not going to be as aggressive, or he has to open it himself. Like, it's very minor details, but it could be enough. Okay. MBK, again, it's a couple of rounds now in a row where we've seen a lot of early damage done to a couple of players on this Heroic side. None of them really getting punished for it, however.
None so far. But through the squeaky, friberg spots out MBK. Trying to go for the kill in towards blameF on A main. But ZywOo here towards outside. Can have the backup of his teammates as well as they are going for the smokes again. Interesting to see if they do the line of smokes and the wall of smokes towards Secret, or if they do the smokes towards A main and Garage. Can't really see it from that angle. But it seems like, yeah, towards Garage, towards A main. And typically when you see the smoke, it does allude to going down towards Secret or coming towards Heaven, Under Heaven, and working a split that way.
Yeah,
Yeah, so much to be, so many questions to be asked now for Heroic as to where do they go? Are they expecting a flank in towards Heaven, coming back towards the back of ramp, or towards Heaven itself, towards the A site? Or are they going to go down Secret? And it seems like they will be doing the latter.
Well, I think they had to. But just because of the reason that they lost MBK, like the aggression that came out from Stown meant that they couldn't really risk going back towards the A site because you don't know what map control you've lost, and slower plays could have meant that they pushed all the way outside. S-Attack, however, is already here. The clock starting to tick, and he's actually going to go through the smoke. He's waiting for Alex, but he misses, and that's the opener they needed. S-Attack and NATO both go down at the same time. Now the CTs are left with just 3 remaining. A tough retake at that. They do have the money to go for this. They could still buy into the next round, even if every single player dies. So they are going to start this push forward. Stown spots out Alex, but neither player really hits the finishing blow, and they're going to look to try and take control towards the door, but there's already been a rotation around. The T's taking positions together, playing the anti-flash RPK. He gets 1, and actually Apex caught out without his gun in hand. Blame has got 2 back. Nice shot from Alex through the door, and eventually they do close it out, but still that seemed to come a little bit too close for comfort. And as said, the cost was kind of worth it for Heroic. It's risky to lose that much money when you're on the CT side especially, but if you do that much damage, I don't think it's a bad thing at all.
What, to go for that retake, and even if it comes down to the 2 versus...
Yeah, because they can still buy.
Oh, yeah, exactly. But yeah, Vitality there. Obviously, they did the same smokes as the last round, smoking out towards A main, under Heaven, and towards Garage. Not really showing their hand until they did go all the way down Secret in towards that B side. It was very, very effective, even though BlameF found 2 there onto, I believe it was Apex and RPK. But back towards the B site. Instead, this time it's going to be NATO Safix manning the site. And MBK up close to the MAC-10 could still deal some devilish blows, especially as NATO Safix hasn't invested into head armor. 2 players towards the B sides. S-Attack's there to back up NATO too. But for now, 3 players still from Vitality towards the outside vicinity of the map. As now they go for the wall of smokes. This is where they mimic to go down Secret. However, will they try some other plays up their sleeve to try and basically go for a double fake? Let's see.
Bit of utility being expended, at least in an attempt to slow them down, but it didn't work at all. MBK has managed to take a lot of ground. Stown hits the timing good though, but it's a quick trade back and still leaves them, well, now in an even scenario as Friberg finds RPK, ZywOo trades another. It's back and forwards all the way this round, and it's left on to Friberg once again. The king in the last map. Can he repeat the style and execution he had towards the end of Overpass, or is this just going to be an easy finish to a 4th round on the board from Vitality? It's going to be taking his time. Has a kit, has a smoke, has a flashbang, so doesn't really have to race through this one. The problem is ZywOo is holding the angle indefinitely, and Friberg is not going to stand a chance.
There you have it, the wall of smokes. Walking down Secret is Vitality all the way towards the B site, and it's basically all opened up by MBK with that MAC-10. NATO Safix not investing into head armor, and he paid the price for it. 6-4 now as we head into the 11th round here, Tom, and Vitality now starting to put up a bit more of a fight on their map pick. Then again, they are on the T side. Notoriously a CT side map. Not so much here in CSGO. But either way, 2 MAC-10s now coming up from Vitality. Anticipating the eco, and they would be right, as all they really have there is a Deagle from BlameF up close.
Well, yeah, backing you up with the sort of CT side in this for Vitality. They win 66% of their CT rounds, so not anything crazy, to be honest.
Yeah, more of like a 9-6.
Yeah, gives away more of a chance. Again, these Deagles, though, that's 1 apiece now. They're going to go for the crossover, and Stown just seems to be the king at the moment with that pistol in hand, and he's even going to get the 3rd to add to the list. This left on to MBK. An AWP has been retrieved. The bomb also on the floor. Stown just going to be waiting. He's retreated back, but MBK does enough. The unarmored player unable to do anything here. And now Blame slowly rotates in, but does MBK play this? Does he go back up the vent? Because I think if he does, if he goes A, this round is over, and Blame's actually going to go pushing. MBK is going to clutch it out. No armor for his opponent, so it did make things a little bit easier, but even still, he had to save them. And again, it's another example that we can quote that interview. We need to work on our anti-eco rounds, and again, it comes too close.
Yeah, it comes too close because they weren't quite close enough. Just down there with the Deagle, able to find 1 kill apiece each and every time. ZywOo obviously traded out, but was on his own. RPK went in second after it was too late and Stan already got the first headshot. There wasn't the trade frags that we used to be seeing by the top teams against the Ecos. Instead, their spacing was far too far apart, peaking one by one. But yeah, at the end of the day, Stan still has to land the shots, and he did so very well. 6-5 now is the second timeout coming up for Vitality, as they need to work out how the hell are they going to distribute their drops and their funds going into this round. But either way, all back in the hands of ZywOo. NBK and Alex can buy as well, so nothing really too worrying coming as of yet. But Heroic now with another buy. I nearly said Mac 10 then. MP9 coming in for NATO Safix. Org for Blameth. Orb for Essetag. And apart from that, M4's across the board here, Tom.
I think it's a while since we've actually seen a kill from NATO as well.
Yeah, still 10-7, I believe, right now.
Yeah, I think he was 10-2. Okay. The battle through the door leaves just one casualty. As Down is out of this one, and he has been one of the heavy hitters so far for Heroic in this second map of the series. For anybody who missed it, they won 11 rounds in a row to take the last map 16-14, so Vitality could be sat with a round advantage or map advantage very easily here. Instead, they're a map down, but on their choice, and with already 5 rounds on the T side, could be feeling fairly confident in this scenario. As mentioned, they win about 66% of their CT rounds, so if they get too many more, you have to start to worry a little bit for Heroic.
Yeah, more statistics as well to come. So far, Heroic have won 10 out of their 11 entry duels thus far on this map. Goes to show how strong their entries have been on their CT side when they have been playing aggressive. But speaking of aggressive, it's NATO Safix with 2 from the elevated angle that's take down RPK and Apex. But now we see ourselves into the clutch for MBK. Big round here for both of these teams, especially looking at the cash from both sides. Could put the game on a knife's edge here. However, very capable shoulders here for the pressure to be put upon onto MBK as he does jump down the vents towards the B site. So far, no one here from the side of Heroic, but Essetag may be here just in time, and he is. We'll be taking down MBK. So 7-5 here for Heroic on their CT side, and going forward, Vitality should be saving, so maybe they can get towards 8 or 9.
Yeah, I think they're definitely going to want to do that in terms of being able to sort of stay within this map. They don't want to allow Vitality to get too many more rounds, and yeah, it's actually interesting. MBK has been the real standout player so far for Vitality. ZywOo hasn't done too much. Like, the AWP hasn't really had that much impact. Apex, obviously the entry fragger for the team has been very quiet, but that's sort of what you expect with an entry fragger. Either it's going very well or it's not going well at all, because you're trying to take those early fights. You're taking the risks that most of the time your teammates are not willing to take. This round, as you mentioned, it's just could be some pistols. Nothing much for the side of Vitality, but we know that they can still do a lot of damage with very little. They came close to closing out or getting to their 15th round on the last map with just pistols. If it wasn't for Essetag with a 1v2 clutch, they would have gone that way, and we could be sat again with the 1-0 in the favor of Vitality instead. But here we go. Brute Force is the name of the game. They're going to go right in towards this site. Down is able to survive on the very edge of the hut. Well, in the end, it's the cleanup. NATO Safix able to get 2 and make some cash along the way.
Yeah, exactly. Able to find 2 kills and cash, but also 3 players surviving for Heroic. So they should be able to buy up as well into the last round in case they lose this one, which is important. So now coming into round number 14 then, 8-5. Still the 3-run advantage for Heroic, who've been looking so strong so far on Nuke. And obviously the upset in the last map as well on Overpass. Even though it was the map pick, they managed to bring it back from that 14-5 scoreline. See smokes as well going towards the outside of the map. It's not going to be the wall of smokes this time though, instead the ones towards A main and Garage. Oh, MBK, look what he's got to. Already in towards A main, finds 1 onto Freiburg. It's down there, playing towards the default side, able to train back 3. My goodness, now into the 2 versus 3. Vitality have brought this one back, but it's an even exchange.
Yeah, Alex though is caught off one more. Stown needs the ace. That should be the 4th, although it's close. And it comes out anyway. He has to trade to the AK, and he finds the kill as well. An ace for the youngster. As mentioned him as someone to watch, and he's definitely proving it now. 20 kills to his name, to the 10 deaths he has, and an ace when Heroic needed it the most. 9 rounds on the board for them. Vitality have got to force the issue into this final round of the half, and that was incredible.
Yeah, imagine the morale right now in the team. As you said before, the cheerleaders for the team playing there for NATO Suffix, cheering on their young gun. Do you know how old Stown is? Maybe look that one up, actually. It'd be interesting to see just how...
He's 17.
17, my goodness.
I will check, but I'm
Sorry?
fairly sure. It always seems to be when I say that they've just had a birthday or something. But
Yeah, this is the caster's curse, right? But speaking of curses, Pistols charging down an AWP, but STAG managed to keep his cool for one. But IPK had the fast trade back. Freiburg's made his way onto the scene. He's found 1, 2, and maybe the third as well, but not quite. Luckily for him, though, NATO Suffix is there to get the spray transfer and transfer us into the second half. 10-5. Can Heroic try and make it the 2 apiece and the 2-0? Find out shortly after this, few-minute break.